Go for it.
All right. We all sit like birds in the wilderness, birds in the wilderness, birds in the wilderness. We all sit like birds in the wilderness, waiting to be fed. So that's our camp dinner song, and that's how we begin every single camp. And I'm Mimi Dane, the CEO at Flying Horse Farms.
All right, go ahead and
Okay, so one of the things that's really, really important in the context of a nonprofit organization is to really focus on what your core values are. Every nonprofit knows what their mission is. Ours is to provide magical transforming fun for our campers at no cost to them and their families. But it's beyond the mission, it's the core values on how you run the organization, what is the culture of the organization. We have 10 things that guide us, and the first one is our campers are first. So everything that we do at Flying Horse Farms is centered on campers. That's the most important thing that we do, and that's what we think about. Our second core value, though, is all crew, no passengers. So it's really thinking about all of us are responsible, all of us own the organization. We all are responsible for our donors. We're responsible for our campers. And so Nellie, it doesn't matter whether I'm walking across campus. If, you know, a classic example was a family camp weekend. We had some of the exotic animals from the zoo, which was dynamite, but the kids were actually focused on, one of the kids saw a dead frog sitting on the cement. So that was their focus, and I walked by, saw it, and immediately went in the kitchen, grabbed some paper towels. My job was to get that out of there. And so it really is all crew, no passengers. It's thinking about, you know, that no matter who you are within the organization, whether it's board chair or the CEO or food service, it doesn't matter. We're all in it together, and we all share in the work. And I think it's critical that as you think about core values in a nonprofit, that you live and breathe them. They're not just a booklet that we have, but we hire and we let people go on the basis of those. We think about our volunteers in that way, and we think about our campers and our staff. You know, another core value that is critical to us is fearless is free. And if you think about a culture of a nonprofit or any organization, you have to be fearless. You have to be willing to make a mistake. You have to be willing to fail, because it's only out of failure comes success. And if everybody is so nervous and doesn't want to take that chance, you lose something in that process. So it's the core values. It's how you lift each other up. So another one of our core values is we see the best in each other. Everybody has a bad day. I mean, we all know that. It's part of life. But it's when there is that bad day, it's to lift each other up. And it's also to see the best in each other. So if I make a mistake, and I will, I'm human, we're all human, but it's for the rest of the team to say, well, okay, she made a mistake, but how do we move to the next thing? And how do we see the best in each other? And then our critical one at camp and in any nonprofit is that anybody can give. You've heard me say this before, the critical part of philanthropy is the democratization of philanthropy. So the journey of a donor can begin at $5, and that's giving, or it could be giving of your time. It could be giving 500 pounds of bacon. But anyone can give, and then we have to be grateful and say thank you. And it really, those are our core values. I mean, it's something that simple, but if you have them as an organization and you live them, you're much stronger. You're much, much stronger, and you can breathe that culture.
So talk to me about, you know, people here are so busy. There's lots of things happening. How do you guys mesh together and become one voice? I mean, what's your strategy internally? Do you have staff meetings? Is there like a group that you guys talk about?
Well, since we've moved to the Big Red Barn, we have more of a flexible work schedule, but everybody is here on Mondays and everybody is here on Wednesdays. We have a staff lunch. We eat lunch together every Wednesday so that we get to know each other in a broader way, and then we have a staff meeting. And so we talk through what's happening in programming, what's happening from the medical front, what's happening from the development front, and we talk to each other. Communication is critical. Open communication is critical. My style as a leader is an open door. My door is closed only if I'm in a meeting, but a strong leader is open to everyone. and is willing to take the time to talk to any staff member. And I encourage my leadership team to have that same philosophy, because then there's openness and there's trust and there's a willingness to communicate. And so you have to live those values and communicate to keep everybody on task. But if you know what your focus is, and that's the critical piece, and for us it's campers first, everything follows. You know, whether it's a mom camper or dad camper or one of our heart kids, if we know that that's what our service is, then everything focuses around that. So our medical team knows that we need to make camp medically safe. Our program team knows that we have to program so that the least capable camper can participate as much as the strongest camper. Development knows that for campers to be first, we have to fund the work that we do. And so it's having that laser focus in terms of the work that we do.
And for people that are in the nonprofit industry, if you could give them one tip, what would it be?
One tip. We're a mission-driven industry. We're not about not-profit. We're mission-driven, and so we need to be as focused as any business, but we focus on our mission. I think that's something to keep in mind. And I think core values. I would say you have to have that core value that pulls you together. It's the glue that holds everyone together.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and thank you, Mimi. We had a blast today, and come back next Friday to see where we go next.
Thanks. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.